This chart represents the 1.2 billion hectares of land that governments globally pledge to restore. But when checking official ledgers, like the IUCN database, you see a much smaller fraction. Only 124.3 million hectares, about 10.4% of that pledge, are actually reported as restored. A pledge on a ledger is an administrative promise, and reported numbers often lack independent verification. A country with low numbers might be severely under-delivering on its environmental goals, or it might just be under-reporting, and the database cannot tell the two apart. That is where satellite tracking comes in. Orbiting remote sensors let us look directly at the physical Earth, entirely bypassing the paperwork. Take the latest data from the Global Mangrove Watch. Their version 4.1 release tracked coastal forests from 1985 to 2025, using remote sensing to detect a net global gain of 47,720 hectares of mangroves. This kind of ecological observation provides undeniable, real-time proof that an ecosystem physically exists. It does not rely on a political claim, establishing a baseline independent of national climate targets. Yet, while a satellite map performs a miracle of verification, it operates in a data vacuum. It can prove a forest is standing today, but it cannot tell you if that forest will survive tomorrow. In the field, practitioners call these mapping systems an external screen. They are not official reporting destinations where a country files its progress. They are independent baselines against which government claims can be checked. To test the limits of what this screening technology can track, we must look past global gains and drop down into a regional crisis. In August 2026, Indonesia's peatland fire season flared up aggressively. In a single 24-hour period, the Forestry Ministry detected 11,908 fire hotspots across the country. The physical loss captured by remote sensing was staggering. Estimates showed roughly 182,000 hectares of land burning in the month of July alone. The satellite perfectly quantifies the destruction, but this exposes its resolution limit. The map is completely blind to the systemic failures that allowed the fires to start in the first place. These peatlands were not always burning. Back in 2019, a targeted effort to re-wet the dried peat successfully cut fire occurrences by 22% across thousands of square kilometers. That success relied on very specific physical infrastructure on the ground, primarily deep wells and wooden canal blocks built to keep the peat thoroughly soaked. But recent field checks revealed a hidden reality. When monitors inspected a sample of those same canal blocks a few years later, they found that 70% of them were damaged and failing. That physical decay was the direct result of an administrative failure. The specific government agency mandated to maintain those restorations had its timeline expire, and its operations were formally dissolved and split across other ministries. When the financial budgets and the maintenance infrastructure are abandoned, the ecological growth recorded by the satellites is only temporary. Right now, international climate policy is heavily tilted toward building reporting infrastructure. We are seeing new joint adjustment tools from carbon registries like Verra and Gold Standard, and global summits like the UN Convention on Desertification in Ulaanbaatar, centered entirely on making implementation legible to accountants. Yet, while the tools to measure delivery advance rapidly, the money to execute it lags far behind. Almost every funding item on the verified record remains prospective, pledged, or completely unverified. Practitioners and carbon markets must avoid a critical error. You cannot conflate an administrative entry on a ledger with an actual, lasting physical reality on the ground. The satellite map is not the complete solution, but it serves as the ultimate, unforgiving auditor of these global financial promises. A reporting ledger might arrive before the money does, but area-based tracking is useless without the budgets to maintain that area, because an unfunded project today will simply be recorded as a loss by the satellite tomorrow.